Welcome to this topic video on HTML forms. The readings that we'll use are your first form from MDN, how to structure a form from MDN, and sending form data also from MDN. Okay, in the beginning of the web that is, the form element was the only way for browsers to send data to servers. Then came file upload, and after that, AJAX. What do we mean by AJAX? Asynchronous JavaScript and XML, which really means nowadays asynchronous JavaScript, and we send JSON. Okay, these are fetch calls. Okay, modern fetch calls. Okay, so forms. What do forms look like? Well, they look like this. It's an HTML element with the tag form. We get two important parameters, action, which is a URL, and method, which is one of two different HTTP methods. Okay. Oh, and by the way, we need a button on this so we can submit the form. Okay. So the action is a URL, absolute or relative, on the page, of the page, or the path on the server that will handle this form, where we're submitting it to. The method is the HTTP method used by the form. You have a choice of two, get or post. Okay. The case doesn't matter. Get or post are your two choices. Okay. Form widgets. When you put things onto a form, okay, like an input, you're going to get a couple attributes that are used with that. The form, for form purposes. The name, okay, use a name attribute. This is submitted with the form to identify which of multiple inputs the value represents, okay. The value, okay, input will have a value, okay, submitted along with the form with its associated value, name, okay. So we'll get form information as name value pairs. Note, IDs, although we use them a bunch when we do JavaScript, aren't submitted with the form. They're not used, okay? They have no meaning to the server, only to the page, okay? So an example, form, action, my handling form page, method, post, label, okay, that's just a label, input type text, ID is not used, name is used, okay? So this name, username, will be submitted with the form. This name, user mail, will go with the form, okay? So we're going to be using two attributes, name, okay, and that'll be paired with the value that's actually in the form. So that's just one attribute, name, that we didn't need to use before, that didn't have any meaning. So sending the form data, and don't worry, we're going to see all the examples when we learn how to process the form data on the server side. So I know we don't have any examples here, but we got the next topic video. It's going to show all the examples. Okay, now get and post behavior. Okay, where does the data get put? Okay, with get methods. Okay, so when you put in your form, you tell it the method is get. They encode the form data as part of the URL. This is used all the time with search engines. So let's go to DuckDuckGo and put in HTML forms. Okay. Now let's look up here. Oh, look at this. Up here is a query string. In it, you see HTML plus forms. Ah, that matches what the query I'm sending off to DuckDuckGo was. Oh, so this is used all the time with search engines, okay? Because it's not very big. We don't put huge amounts of stuff in there usually, okay? Post methods encode, if you use the post on your form, okay, encode the form data as part of the HTTP request message body, okay? We're actually using the body, okay? We're putting something in the body to send to the server, okay? This is very common when using forms that actually have a bunch of stuff that you're going to want to put in the server. Okay. More structured. Okay. So the query portion, remember, it's the part right up here. Okay. It starts with the question mark. Okay. And it comes before the fragment part. Okay. Okay. If we're doing a post, the body, what goes in the body? Okay, one of those header types is used to specify. When we use posts, the browsers set this for us. Your users don't do this. Okay, the content type is almost always set to application, blah, 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 form-URL encoded. Okay, the values are encoded in key value pairs separated by the ampersand sign, okay, with an equal sign between the key and values. Okay. Okay. Non-alphanumeric characters are percent encoded. Okay. This is the reason why this is not suitable for binary data too. Okay. Common post form example. Here's the post. It's sending to the host. It's sending to /. Okay. And here's the body. Really? Yep. Say that's going to be a name field on some input. Hi is the value, and 2, okay, is the name of another input field, and mom is the value. Okay. Form sending and processing. Okay. If you need to emulate form sending, okay, node fetch, remember this is the server-side library, not to be confused with the one in the fetch that we use that comes with the DOM that we use when we're running in the browser. It has some support, you can see this documentation, click here, for emulating form submission. Why? Because one good thing to do is to be able to test things. Okay, so node fetch has ways of dealing with cookies and ways of dealing with form emulation. So it's a nice complete package. Okay. With Express.js, we're going to need some middleware to help us parse form bodies. Express.js already takes care of query strings really nice for us without us even having asked it. Okay. Now, form structure. You can get some more structure in a form, and this used to be real nice before we had some of the nice layout tools like we get with Flexbox and Grid. Field set and legend. What do those things look like? Oops, I didn't need to go that far. Okay. Here is a notion of a field set. Okay. We get this boundary around things. Okay. Now, over here, we see how this was formed. Field set, legend, button 1, button 2, button 3. It's a way of breaking up a form into pieces. Okay. Nice extra bit of HTML to help us organize things. Okay. Used to be the only way to get this effect. Now, if we want those kind of effects, we can do them with other ways. Okay. Now, let's go see how to make all this stuff work in the next topic video where we'll process those form submissions.